What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of The Old Man and the Gun. Let's rock this. I came in expecting a cat and mouse chase game like Tom Hanks chasing down Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Catch Me If You Can. And to a certain extent, The Old Man and the Gun has that. But for the most part, the movie is not about that. It's actually a pretty calm, reflective celebration of Robert Redford's career, if you will. I hear that this is his final film, that he's retiring from acting after this one. Well then, if that's the case, The Old Man and the Gun is a hell of a way to go out. Directed by David Lowery, the story is based on the actual life of a career criminal named Forrest Tucker, played in the movie by Robert Redford, who spends his life in and out of jail, having successfully escaped from several prisons over the years. The film takes us to when he's at the age of 70, still doing a string of bank heists that confounded authorities and enchanted the public, while at the same time trying to build a relationship with a woman who genuinely loves him in spite of his love of robbing banks. Robert Redford is a legend. There's no other better way to put it. He has graced the big screen for more than 5 decades and has played some of cinema's most iconic roles, many of which were in Oscar-winning movies. So the idea of him not being around in movies anymore is something that's somewhat sad, but at the same time also something that deserves a standing ovation because he closes the curtains on a high note. I know, it sounds like a funeral eulogy, but I want to kick off with that because having that in mind will help you when you watch The Old Man and the Gun. Because as I said earlier, you should not expect a cat and mouse chase game. Hell, Casey Affleck's character, who is supposed to be the lawman on the case, doesn't even get his victory lap. And he only shares one quick screen time with Robert Redford in this entire movie. And it's not even in the same heavyweight level equivalent to Al Pacino and Robert De Niro sitting in a restaurant in Heat. So from that standpoint, The Old Man and the Gun can be seen as a bit of a letdown. But if you're just dwelling on that alone, you're missing the bigger picture. As my friend and my fellow critic Michael J. Lee correctly brings up, this is more of a storytelling movie. Which to me is perfect because I've always believed that when we get into our twilight years or when we become really, really old, all we have left then will not be our money or our possession, but our stories. Which is why, if you noticed, old folks love telling stories to the young ones about the good old days. They ache, they long to share their stories with any willing listening ear. But back to the movie. It's really cool how The Old Man and the Gun has that grainy look that makes it seem as if the movie was actually shot in the late 70s or early 80s. It's as if the film was shot during the same time or during the era of The Graduate or Dog Day Afternoon or Hill Street Blues. So it's great. Everything about this film does a good job of transporting us to that era, including the selection of classic folk songs that accompany many of the scenes. Robert Redford's performance in this film shows signs of a man who's incredibly content with how his career turned out. His character, Forrest Tucker, is quite the charmer. He robs bank with a hearing aid and a smile on his face. And Robert Redford exudes that to perfection because he himself is quite the gentleman. A larger-than-life escape artist played by a larger-than-life actor. It doesn't get more of a match than that. And don't expect the bank heist scenes to be as elaborate or as flashy as Ocean's 11, for example, because again, that is not this film's emphasis. The bank heists are there simply to show you the reason for Forrest's joy. It's the look on his face because robbing banks is the thing that makes him feel alive. So it's not so much what's happening in the heist or how the heist works, but more about how he treats others during it and his responses after it's done. Even the romance between Robert Redford's and Sissy Spacek's characters is more of a puppy love connection between two old folks who just enjoy each other's company. as opposed to anything remotely close to provocative. The film does a good job of incorporating old footage from Robert Redford's earlier films, and it's done in the most organic way that doesn't take you out of your experience watching the film. Overall, The Old Man and the Gun is a proper send-off, a proper applause to Robert Redford, and a career well accomplished. So that's it. That's my review of The Old Man and the Gun. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Share this video with all your friends on the YouTubeverse. And as always, subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. This latest review is made possible thanks to your support on Patreon. So please go to patreon.com/ramascreen, sign up there today, and become my patrons. Let's rock this.